Alright.
Alright, so we're live everywhere. Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so we're live everywhere. Alright. All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. We are now live on YouTube and Facebook. We have today, I'm Glenn Petriello, founder of Chocotastery, and here we have on the other screen that you can see this way, this is Esther Bobbins. So she is... your stream is like doing nothing right now, so it should be, there's I think a lag going on, if I'm seeing this right. Yeah, it just looks like you are actually just staring at the screen. Hopefully that will come through. All right, double check. It looks, I don't know why it's do that and do that. All right, maybe there's just a lag. All right, say something.
Bobbin, right. I'm excited. This is my first live tasting ever, so thanks for having me.
Say something. All right. So I just need to do something really quick.
This is my first live tasting ever, so thanks for having me.
Say something. All right, 1 second. What I'm seeing. Something really quick.
First live tasting ever.
Hold on 1 second. All right, guys. All right, 1 second. What I'm seeing. All right, I just needed to mute. I had the live stream going on my computer, so I was hearing it as well. Hearing myself. So, can you hear me okay? Good?
I can definitely hear you.
Perfect. All right. So, Esther, thanks so much for joining us. So, for all those who don't know, Esther was the former director at the Unconference out in the Northwest Chocolate Festival over the past couple of years, right? And so for Esther, she's also taken on a new venture. It's called United by Chocolate. So Esther, I want to just start off with having you share your chocolate journey, where you started, what was the aha moment that made you fall into chocolate, and then talk about your time with the Northwest Chocolate Festival and what you're doing now with United by Chocolate.
Definitely, yeah. So my journey with chocolate definitely started in Seattle. Prior to going back for my MBA, I used to always walk by Theo Chocolate in Seattle. Their factory was located just a couple blocks from the office that I worked in, and just would pop in, learn more about craft chocolate and the movement, and it was very intriguing. And I think I must have done their tour like 4 that can make a difference. And from my mom's side, we're from Peru, and so I have roots and ties to Latin America, and I've always wanted to, make an impact there, a stronger impact. And so when I went back to school, I started to follow Cacao and what was going on in chocolate even more. And then was fortunate enough that when I returned to Seattle, met Autumn Martin, who used to be the head chocolate maker for Theo and was starting her company, Hotcakes, at the time. And she took me under her wing, and I worked on organic certification for some of her retail products in her kitchen, and learned a lot from her, from chocolate to taking it through the baking process, and just got deeper and deeper, more excited about the craft chocolate movement. And lucky enough that the Northwest Chocolate Festival is located in Seattle, and was able to also work with them and work on marketing. And then they started the Unconference. And yeah, I just think education is so important, and the ideas coming together, and wanted to always make sure that was getting back to origin, and noticed that perhaps that there might be a better way to get that education into the hands of folks, and that language is such a big barrier, even with the great work that the festival did for scholarships and getting people to the U.S. to give them access to physically to the festival and the Unconference. There were still barriers that existed, and I thought perhaps with my background in technology, and then melding that with my family background and my ability to speak Spanish, I could help connect some dots. And so that's where United by Chocolate, how that came to be. And I'm recording workshops at different conferences and then translating the videos into Spanish. And then I just launched my first video. It was of Jessie Pino from the DC Chocolate Festival, where she presented about the women in chocolate that are doing amazing work there in the Chihuahua region. And so, yeah, excited to be on this new adventure in craft chocolate. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. And I think along those lines of, when you were the director with the Unconference, I think that was when I actually first met you. Maybe like I don't even remember exactly when, but I remember seeing you at other events, and then earlier this year in New York, and we got to talk, and we're like, we need to do a live tasting because that would be cool, and so that's really awesome. And just taking a check-in with how the tech is going. So I think it's going in and out. The live stream seems to be not at the best health, apparently. But it is live, and I'm not sure if people could still hear audio on Facebook. But either way, we're rocking and rolling, and I'll have the video and all of it, so we could always post it afterwards. So, and it's funny how you are still looking down at the bottom of your screen.
Oh no.
Yeah. But either way, I think we should get on to the chocolate. We have 5 different bars today. And as I share this, there's the large beam of sun heading in my face. So we'll do our best to share each bar as closely as possible so you can see it. So the first one, so I'll just go through them really quick. We have Minka dark chocolate. It's a 43% dark milk from Ecuador. That'll be our first one that we taste. We'll also taste Chuckle Larder. They're from the UK. So there's honeybee in there. Honeycomb with black beehives from black beehives. We thought it was really cool to try this one. And so the next one is Chocolate Naive from Lithuania. So they worked with Cacao review, and they did a limited run, and we'll talk more about that, what that all means later. But this is from Nicaragua. Another bar from Cacao Review. This is from Oko Caribe. And then lastly would be a bar from Peru. It's a 70% from, I think it's Amazonas. Yeah. So let's start it.
All right.
Yeah. So for all those who don't know, I have a chocolate tasting guide with Chocotastery, which will soon be available for download and purchase. It's a nice quality. You could hear it and you could see it. It's really, really simple 4 steps of tasting chocolate. And so we'll follow along like that. And so I think it's time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I loved the guide. It's, like you said, it's so easy to follow and you don't feel overwhelmed looking at it.
Yeah, and that was the goal of being able to allow people who weren't familiar with tasting chocolate to not feel overwhelmed and to give them something that's easy, that it's like, all right, I just have to take a few more minutes to actually look at certain aspects of the chocolate that are important. So, all right, so here is what it looks inside. And for if you're seeing a lag, Esther's actually showing it too. You may not see it. Yeah, so
I really appreciate how they name the community that it comes from.
Yeah.
That's Comunidad, Shiwa, Urku.
Yep, that's the community right here. Boom, right there. I never heard of that community.
I haven't either, and you don't see it very frequently that the origin is so specifically named, but I very much appreciate that.
So my bar, I just broke in my hand by accident. So half of it is like this. So there's a little design on it. So for 43%, it's not super light brown, but it's because it's a dark milk, it's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And that just didn't snap because I'm now in the sunlight.
Yeah, it's a smooth snap.
Yeah.
It's like a softer.
And so there was literally no snap there. So the snap for everybody is the sign of how well tempered the chocolate bar is, and that's where like the fat crystals are. They're together and they give a nice shine and snap to the chocolate. So the aromas.
I feel like a nutty, lighter roast. Is kind of what I'm picking up here.
Yeah, I do get like a nutty note.
Mm-hmm.
And then break it once or twice, let it move around, open your mouth a little bit to aerate your mouth, sort of like wine, but you're able to move it around, take a moment, take it all in. I'm going to get a tissue.
I like to kind of start writing things down because
to promote it, but here is a tasting guide that I shared with Esther, and this is going to be available for download and purchase soon as well. It's really a higher quality, and you're able to write on this. Normally for my classes, I do 4 bars, but today we have 5, so I have to just improvise. And if I get it closer, you can see some of the attributes around the look, the taste, the aromas, the flavors. Are you getting any? Does it evoke any memories for you in any way?
No, it's great. I'm writing down exactly what I'm coming across. And I actually loved that it's helpful so that I could write, the names of the chocolates ahead of time.
Yep.
And
so so what were some of the aromas that you got from it?
So for me, it was molasses. Started this kind of caramel molasses aroma. Definitely came to mind. You were talking about memories and like a playful cherry, like thoughts. I picked the packaging to see if they name the specific sugar that they use, and they don't. It just says sugar because I was keen to think. It kind of reminded me of cane sugar, but I'm not sure if that's if I'm matching that up correctly or not. Yeah, how about you?
I'm getting like the caramely dairy note.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Through. And then that with the nutty note in the beginning. And it's interesting because as I go through it again, I'm
gonna taste another piece.
Yeah, that's why there's a whole bar. I think for me, and I have been dealing with a cold all week, but like there's like for me there's like a very light hint of like something like bright or florally, but it for me, I think milk chocolate's always or dark milk whenever there's a dark whenever there's a milk in it, I always get that and I kind of hang on that, and it overpowers for me as far as getting the other flavors. But this time, like I did get that that nice, like towards the like 2/3 end, like something bright. There was something else there.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I think I felt the same way. I really like the butteriness of the texture.
Yeah, and so I could share so they have the ingredients on the back. So this is cocoa liquor, sugar, milk powder, cocoa butter, vanilla, and soy lecithin. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. Normally we wouldn't see for dark milk. I think in the craft, most craft makers don't really use soy lecithin that much. And for everybody who doesn't know, soy lecithin is an emulsifier that helps it be more viscous when working with the chocolate. Predominantly used in chocolates that are like couverture chocolate, that for your confections and any other enrobing chocolate covered items like fruit or nuts or whatever. So that like butteriness is possibly the additional cocoa butter fat and the fattiness of the soy lecithin.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed too is a lot more experimentation with the different lecithins. I don't think I've tasted another. I might have tasted an oat one, but yeah, I'm seeing more types of lecithins pop up as well.
Interesting. I never did a soy lecithin tasting.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one to do.
Yeah, I mean, I did a a cocoa butter tasting one time a couple years back in Seattle. It was actually before, it was a couple years back before the Northwest Chocolate Festival.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, it was interesting. You could do also a sugar tasting as well, which is really interesting with all of the different types of alternative sugars versus your organic cane sugar and regular cane sugar.
Yeah. That's another area that I'd like to dive into more is learn about sugar. So question for you, any pairings that came to mind? Because for some reason, like a goat cheese, like a light goat cheese came to mind when I was thinking of something I might pair this with. Any thoughts for you?
I don't know. I'm still. I think I may have to try it again later. And I have not done I can't say I've done a lot of tasting with cheese and chocolate.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to dive into tasting chocolate with coffee and wine and maybe cheese next. But like trying to learn a little bit about each of those and be able to speak to all those. Yeah, you said the cheese, so.
I really like whiskeys with chocolate. I would love to do somebody to put on like a whiskey pairing, but I'll put that out into the universe in case anybody wants to do that.
Of course.
Cool.
Yep. All right, so the next one is Chocolarder.
Yeah. All right.
Right there. So this is a 50% with Honeycomb. And so they have they're in Cornwall, United Kingdom. And so they have on the back here, I'm just going to read it because I can't read through the screen. So they talk about the beekeeper because it's an important part of the story. So they say, Master Beekeeper Matt Black cares for his colonies of Cornish black bees by using sustainable methods that are stress and chemical free for the good health of his fuzzy compatriots. And so he supplies these guys with fresh tree honey, and from which they make their own. They meaning Chocolarder makes their own honeycomb, and that delivers like a super deep, heavy honey flavor and a pleasing crunch alongside creamy milk chocolate. And so this is a 5-ingredient chocolate. So you have the cocoa beans, unrefined raw sugar, milk powder, honey, and bicarbonate of soda. That's a new one. I never heard that before.
Me either. That's a combo I haven't had. I appreciate how this opens up. I really like how the story. Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep on showing this because I think you're frozen still on the screen.
Okay.
But it shows the process, and then it has some more notes along the way of the beekeeper. Actually, it goes all the way through. Look at that. It comes out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I really like this.
And then it slides out. I like this packaging. It's very intuitive, complex, but approachable. It tells you exactly what's going on with the process.
Definitely. I want to mention the maker's name is Mike Longman.
Okay.
So I looked him up online to learn a little bit about him and just to give him some beautiful respect for what he's done here.
Yeah, and so Esther and I were talking about, do we need scissors? And I think we need to use scissors for this one.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I almost feel horrible. They did a beautiful print job here as well.
Yeah, it's a cool design, and I cracked my bar as well. So kudos to me.
I'm gonna take a photo of this before I cut
Okay,
it.
For all those who can't see it, she's actually taking a photo. And she'll post it later on her Instagram,
Yes.
which you can see at the bottom of the screen, right down there. There. So it's United by Chocolate or Esther Bobbin. Oh, so what's cool about this bar that's in pieces is that there's a really nice cacao design on it. So I'll just hold it up and you can see it. It's really cool, imprinted of cacao pods. And so all of that broke. But what I could share is if you look in, there's like bits of honeycomb in there. See that? It's pretty cool. And so it's a 50% chocolate, so it's just milk chocolate. There's no like.
Just got a small little piece there.
Yeah. So this one had a nicer snap.
Yeah, mine too.
Are you getting any aromas? Or did you eat it already?
No, when I just popped it into my mouth, to be honest. I saw that honeycomb.
Yeah.
And I was just so curious. But I'll kind of do both. You know, the aroma for this one is not jumping out at me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you got?
Nope. And I'm all stuffed up, so... but it wasn't like easy to just... It didn't pop when I opened up the package either.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's like the normal like cocoa aroma. Maybe get like a dairy note in there because it's milk.
Yeah, I want to say something earthy, but that could just be my brain going to thinking about the bees. As far as tastes go, I feel like I'm keeping to those earthy tones. Picking up like almost some light tobacco, but in a really good way. And normally that wouldn't be something positive for me. But in this case, it's more of like a woodsy, flavorful tobacco. I also don't know much about black bees, and I wonder if that comes from the particular type of honey.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I just got to the crunchiness. I appreciate that. It's perfect. You get some almost like a little bit of that pop, like what's that candy, like Pop Rocks?
Pop Rocks. Yeah.
That fun, texture that you, on molars back there.
Yeah, there's this like not too sweet, but like this sweet honey note, obviously because it's honeycomb. But there's I like the texture with it. It's not overly sweet for a 50% chocolate bar. It's and for me, it's like all I really got out of that was like the honey on a pedestal, like.
Definitely.
And so they say like the notes on the front, they say bursting with deep honey and toffee sweetness over a background of toasted hazelnut. So they do share that there are some nutty notes. I guess you have to try it again.
I would definitely agree with that description. though to the deep honey, I feel like as I chewed into the honeycomb, the deep honey notes then moved into more of a sweeter, brighter honey, which I really admire as well. I like that. I also appreciate, I was reading that they use sailboats to bring their beans over to England. So the sustainability aspect to this bar, I think, just all around.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know where the bicarbonate of soda would come into play. Is that like the crunchiness of it, or?
Interesting.
And you know what? I just took a little piece before when you were finishing up. I do get like this like tobacco note. It's like right at the tail end.
Yeah, that's when I got it too. And like a burnt sugar.
Yes. You took the words right out of my mouth. Like it's like the creme brulee burnt sugar on top.
Yeah. I think I really like whiskey, but I don't know enough of it to speak to the different kinds. But I feel like this would go well with a dark wine. I'll have to do that testing.
Yeah.
Another testing on my own.
Totally. And let me know about it. So this is the third one. The third one is the Rugoso special. And so what's interesting with this, and I've been started to allude to it before, Cacao Review does like a annual box of chocolate bars that there's like 200 bars run of certain special batches of beans, and Dematos, who's the owner of Chocolate Naive in Lithuania, he's done some in the past, I believe, but this one is from, and I'm just going to share a little bit about where the beans come from, because there's a whole story on the back. And so he, I think 4 years ago, went to Matagalpa, Nicaragua, and was able to get like the last 40 kilos of like this specific lot that this one cacao fermentation scientist had. So it was preserved by this scientist in mid 2015, and so I can't even pronounce the last name. It's pretty long, but it's a 67% bar. It's 1, 2, 3 ingredients. So just cacao, sugar, and cocoa butter, additional cocoa butter. And what he did was, there's a flavor card in there as well. So he goes through the processing of how he roasted, the texture, how small the particle sizes he made them be, and then conching, which is just aerating the chocolate afterwards to bring out more of the flavors of the beans. And then he talked about the pod and the bean. So it's like a really cool informational card to just learn about chocolate in and of itself, but also this specific lot of chocolate. And yeah, and there's more stuff on the back too about it.
He's done an excellent job. I mean, I think it speaks to his style and like how detailed he is with this. Represents the detail that he takes his cacao to. But
yeah.
how beautiful that book is.
Yeah, I'm just checking around to see if we're still going. All right. So this is what it looks like. It's a very interesting shaped bar, but he has his logo. The guy on the unicycle, which is kind of distinct for him. So this being a 67% dark chocolate, it looks pretty dark and obviously more darker. It does have a light brown tint to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting on that part, given the fact that this was the 50% milk, and it's pretty similar.
Nice sheen. I think like a beautiful job with the tempering there as well.
Yeah.
And listen to that snap. Soft snap for me.
So it was a louder snap than the other two on my end, but yeah, I'd give it like a 3 out of 4 on that one.
Yeah, agree. Definitely aromas there. I'm trying to put my finger on it. Texture-wise, with my finger, it's very milky and buttery.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna taste.
Yeah. Aroma-wise, it reminds me of like a latte. Gray, maybe.
This is like, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
These are like different types of fruits.
Yeah, what fruits are you tasting?
Sort of like maybe tropical or something.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
See that? I'm almost feeling a little like a orange blossom. Texture-wise, I can. There's definitely, it's like smooth, but at the same time, my tongue is like feeling that pure cacao texture. I don't want to say it's rough by any means, but just like a more of a pure cacao.
Yeah, there's what
like a malty.
Yeah. There's it's also like I just looked down at his card and he has like he has some notes, flavor notes right here. And so he shares that there's like strawberries, kiwi, wheat beer, and leather.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I see that. Oh, maybe it's like that leathery.
Yeah.
That I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like that weedy texture too. Okay. Neat.
So that tropical had to be like that kiwi note for me.
Yeah. I wonder here with the aftertaste when he says slim film of chocolate covers the tongue for around 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If he compares that to his other chocolates and that it can last longer or shorter, or if that's what he's always aims for. I haven't seen an aftertaste described this way before.
Yeah, me neither. And it kind of had a little bit of astringency, not too much.
Agreed.
But I definitely, my mouth is a little watery.
Definitely.
Not too much, but enough. And it's funny how he only has it at 1% on here. But I guess that's in against everything, the types of experiences of quality that he's been pointing out.
Yes. I love the way he plays with his bars. I've had a chance to meet him at Northwest a couple of times, and he really, I think, does a great job of experimenting and refining flavors. Yeah.
The bar's starting to melt on my table here. I have to move it away.
I'm gonna grab him just a little bit more.
As we're continuing on, just to give you a heads up around the feeds, they keep going in and out apparently, and I'm not sure if there's a lot of people able to even connect. As your picture still is not coming through that well. I'm not sure, unfortunately.
I wanted to limit the amount of bandwidth I was using, so I don't have the Facebook thread up, but I'm happy to look at if any questions pop up later and answer.
I don't think there has been anything, because I've been keeping an eye on both. A couple of people came in and went.
And for people that watch it later and have questions.
And hopefully the audio is being picked up so that you could actually hear you. That's apologies on all this. Still have 2 more to go.
Yeah.
So the next one is Cacao review. Oh wow! The aftertaste on that. I just had another piece, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was like super kiwi. It's like super tropical on that aftertaste.
That's so interesting because when I had my third taste, I started to get peanut butter notes.
Huh.
But my favorite bar that he makes, Domantes Us Palis, I hope I'm pronouncing that well, is his peanut butter bar. So I don't know if I just associate him with that, but I'll put a plug in. That's a really good one too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of his bars. The Tahini Bar is also really, really good.
Yes, definitely. I feel like there's something about, also each chocolate bar takes on some of that energy of each maker and the detail and the attention that he puts to the process. I think you can really taste in his bars and come through.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. I'm excited to see what he brings this year to Northwest. Yeah.
I'm trying to play around with your feed.
Okay.
I'm just going to hide that one and then do another one. Because I think I want this to work so badly.
While you're doing that, maybe I'll mention that I'll be translating this into Spanish. And for those that speak Spanish and have any questions, please feel free to, list those in Spanish. Para los que hablan español y quieren comentar o preguntar preguntas en español, pueden hacer eso y podemos responder en español. So I just said, feel free to comment or ask questions in Spanish, and we can respond in Spanish.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, it's,
and then also
totally lagging. Ugh. And I'm not able to see like your entire Skype feed is literally you as a picture. Like,
oh no.
It's literally like I don't even see you.
Okay.
And I'm trying to. I got rid of one, added another one. Yeah.
Hopefully it's recording, but I don't think we'll know that till the end, right?
Yeah. Maybe you have to just do this again.
Yeah.
And maybe just do it on one platform.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, let's continue on.
Yeah. Okay, so I have the cacao review bar, the 70% Oco Caribe.
Yep, so this is what it looks like.
In the Dominican Republic. This is a May 2018 harvest. And I was asking Emily about how much they had left. They only have 10 left of these.
Wow, so we basically got the last batch, last few. It's great.
And this is a special bar. I've ordered their boxes that you were talking about that for the last couple years. They worked with makers to make unique bars for their collection.
Yep.
And they weren't planning on making their own, but one of the makers wasn't able to meet the deadline, and so they jumped in and worked with folks in their community there in Salt Lake City and made this bar, so extra special.
Yeah, and what's also cool is, and I don't have it on me, but I have it here, is they have pretty cool cacao pins.
Yes, I love those. I was actually thinking, I think I have one close by. Where did I put it?
Yeah. So, going back to the bar, it's a 3-ingredient bar. So it has your organic cacao, organic cane sugar, and organic cocoa butter. It's pretty simple packaging because it's for their special box. So go over to their website, check it out. They may have some boxes left. If not, they have some bars left, small quantities.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's Dominican Republic. It's a May 2018 harvest. So what that means is the pods on the cacao tree were taken off the tree back in May 2018, and then they were fermented, dried, and then shipped out to folks like the team at Cacao Review, and then they make it into chocolate. Mm-hmm. So this bar looks so this is 70%, and it looks like a little bit browner. I'm gonna say roughly around maybe a little bit darker shade than the Matas's bar.
And I also see more of a, like in the lights, like a rubyish, reddish, harvest red.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh, I heard your snap there.
So my dad actually just texted me like a little update on Facebook that the video is frozen, but the audio is all there. So
okay.
that's good.
Maybe it'll catch up.
Yeah, so the audio is fine. So we could still translate it, and then if need
Nice.
be, we could put in. I could overlay some images. I'll take some images of the bars and stuff, and you could do so too, and we could
Great.
compile them together. So thanks for that update, Dad. That you're listening on Facebook, and then so yeah, getting back to the chocolate.
And the aroma is spectacular.
Wow. So I'm just gonna come out and say that's like super, super earthy.
Yeah. I feel the earthiness, but also like a floral.
Yeah, that's you know what? It's probably more floral than earthy when you think about it. I don't know my flowers enough.
Yeah, I don't either.
But as it's in my fingers, the what do you call?
I feel like sort of
It's like melting. So it's actually coming out better because it's melting. So I'm just gonna go right in.
You definitely got melty fingers there.
Yeah.
Which, for it being 70%, I'm really impressed by how smooth it is. Tons of fruitiness on my palate.
Like red fruits like maybe like a strawberry or raspberry.
Yeah, it was making me reminding me of like a jam.
Yeah.
Like a jam.
A jam is for sure.
Yeah. Question, do you want me to try, since you said the feed is off, like to turn on my phone try to do like an Instagram live?
I don't know if you want.
We can
chime in for that.
kind of an experiment. I can point it at the computer. We can try.
You could stream from you, and then you'll just have me talking, and you just looking down the entire time. But have it maybe towards you.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, overall, I'm still going with this one piece.